Okay, this is a 2001 Ford F-150 4.6 liter automatic truck. Now, this truck is a little bit different than most of your standard 2001 F-150s, and in fact, this one sports a very unusual odometer reading. 551,953 miles. Now, the first question I often get on this truck is the engine and transmission original? Look, I honestly don't have that answer. I'll show you that engine and transmission. Now, the guy I purchased this truck from, he says the motor was rebuilt somewhere around 400,000 miles by the guy he got it from. There's no paperwork to verify it, and he doesn't know which shop the work was done at. What I can tell you is this truck does run and drive very strong. There are no problems. Here's what the coolant looks like. Rusty as usual. Now, I do have new upper and lower radiator hoses and a new overflow tank coming, simply because that one is 16 years old, and you know, no doubt it'll probably go leaking on me sometime. And I just like having new coolant, everything, fresh fluids in the vehicle. Oil consumption is an issue with this truck. What I'm read online, 4.6 liters. Consuming oil is hit or miss. Some consume none, some consume a lot. In this case, this truck does consume quite a bit, about a quart every 1,000 miles. The PCV valve is shot, I can confirm that, so I have a new one coming. But other than that, it runs, drives, shifts. Everything works on this truck like it should. Nothing unusual, no weird rattles. It does have a vibration. The owner thinks it might be from a bent rim. I haven't investigated it yet. I'll start it for you so you can see it. Exhaust, do you hear? The previous owner changed the exhaust. The exhaust is some kind of single in dual out muffler that turns down right below the cab, and he removed two of the catalytic converters. Just so you can see that odometer reading again. Now, what is broken on this truck? Well, everything works, just about. The overhead console does not light up whenever you turn the ignition on, but that's a common problem with these trucks. Trying to think what else. Of course, you know, you do have your broken trim bits like this right here. Of course, that won't stay shut, you know. The cup holder was broken, but you know, all you F-150 10th gen owners know that's a simple fix. 2 screws, spring went back on, works fine. It had an aftermarket CD DVD player with a screen. I'm not a fan of aftermarket radios, and I think the aftermarket radio is what led to this problem that doesn't work. Someone broke into it, and as a result, the outside door lock does not work. Also, some goofball pushed these hood adjusters all the way down, so the hood's got a little vibration at highway speed, so I need to adjust these and get that fixed. Somewhere along the lines, I do believe this vehicle was in an accident. Those are aftermarket headlights, aftermarket grille, and valance, as you can tell. All that's been replaced somewhere along in this truck's life, and it's been painted. And the mirrors are aftermarket too. They don't hold up like the factory chrome. The power mirrors do work on the passenger side only. The driver's side is a manual mirror. I don't know if you could, I don't know if you could see this very well. Try to focus in there. That is paint that is oversprayed in and chipped out. So this side of the truck has been painted at some point in its life. Sorry, let me get the focus back. That's the wheel we suspect is vibrating. He said the center caps won't stay on. So when you're going down the highway, you hear a sound that's consistent with the vehicle speed, and we suspect that rim may be bent, but I haven't really investigated it yet. Back bumper has a little damage. Got a lot of dents, and the ball hitch just bent down. It does have a cool little tonneau cover, and it works. I have the key to it. It's enough. The hydraulics work on it. It raises and lowers like it should. Rear window doesn't leak on this truck, surprisingly. Very common issue with these 9703 F-150s. No problem here though. The interior is in pretty good condition. Now this truck was a smoker's truck at one point in its life. So I had to rip out the factory carpet and I installed this aftermarket vinyl floor. It fits pretty good. It does have some air pockets, like, you know, kind of, it fits a little kind of sketchy there, but yeah, it's going to be a work truck, so it doesn't really matter. But it's a lot better than the factory carpet. The factory seat upholstery, I removed every one of them. I took all of this off, took it down to the local laundromat and washed all of the factory upholstery because it reeked of nicotine, and it smells much better now. It is much cleaner. But the truck is 16 years old, does have 500,000 miles, so it's not perfect. It does have your typical tear, some cigarette burns, you know. The steering wheel, I'm surprised no one's called me out on this yet. The steering wheel and airbag are from an 03. Now this truck did have the original 01 steering wheel and airbag. I removed them because honestly they were filthy and nasty, and as what is typical with a smoker's truck is the steering wheels is what takes the most abuse. And so I tried to clean the factory steering wheel. It was just too far gone. So I ended up trashing it. I kept the factory airbag as a spare. But I got this one off of eBay with the airbag for $67 shipped. So I couldn't complain too much. Power windows, locks work like they should. The lock actuators were blown. So I bought the eBay $10 specials. And they work just fine, you know. The guy actually did the factory lock actuators were so weak that we couldn't even test if the keyless entry worked, and as you can tell, it does work just fine. Oh, the extended cab doors were broken too, typical cable issue. So I got the eBay $10 repair kit, and they work fine now. Trying to think what else. The air conditioner too. The air conditioner blows ice cold, works great, but it would only work on high speed. So that was the blower motor resistor, obviously, and the pigtail wasn't in that great a condition, so I changed that as well. The shift lever was broken right around here where the textured part ends. Luckily, a whole new shift lever assembly, from here down into the column, is only 50 bucks brand new from the dealership. So I got it off of Tasca Ford. Trying to think anything else. Windscreen does need to be replaced. You probably can't tell too well in this video, but it's got a lot of pitting in addition to these lightning bolt style cracks. So that has to be changed as well. So sun visors are pretty good condition. Can't complain. Headliners, not too bad. It does have some air bubbles in it, largely from me cleaning it. I did saturate it pretty good there, getting the nicotine smell out. And ever since I did that, I've had those two air pockets right there, and there. So those weren't there when I bought it. So, but yeah, 500,000 miles. It's got some character. The armrest is yellowed pretty good. I've tried and scrub it clean. Got some scratches on some of the trim. Typical bezel scratches. The door sills here are in really rough condition. A lot of fading, scratching, really rough condition overall. Seat belts are kind of funky too. I keep going to the junkyard to get these trucks in all the time. If I can find me a cleaner set of seat belts, I will grab them in a heartbeat, because those are pretty funky. The center console is not original to this truck. I got that off of eBay as well. The factory center console that was in here, this whole side was peeled up, as is common with these cup holder bezels, and it was just overall pretty nasty. But this one is good, much better condition. Let me go on the other side. Like I said, this mirror here is manual, so the power part doesn't work. The passenger side works fine. The seats all work like they should. They're not powered or manual, but they recline and work like they should. And it flips up, stays locked in. Can't complain about this truck. This is overall a great truck. Now another question is, how much should I pay? I will not quote the exact dollar amount, simply to tick off all the low ballers that say, oh, I could have got it cheaper. I bought me a mint truck, 20,000 miles for 500 bucks. So that's just to tick y'all off. But I will say that people usually buy a nice set of tires for more than I paid for this truck. So seat folds up like it should. Yeah, you know, you really can't complain. It's an 01, and I'd say it's about par for the condition for what you see in 01 F-150. I'd say it's, honestly, I don't have another 500,000 mile truck to measure the condition against, but I would say it's about right, you know. Runs and drives. How does it run and drive? It runs and drives very well going down the highway. Doesn't pull to the right or to the left. The exhaust really, it kind of drones a little bit. That's why I'm gonna have to change it out. I want to see if I can find a factory exhaust or something quiet to silence this thing. The acceleration is good. This is my 10th generation truck, and this is my second 4.6 liter F-150. My first was a 97. This one's an 01. So this one has the PI heads and the coil on plug ignition. Running and driving, it runs and drives excellent. It accelerates and shifts just like you expect it to. No surprises there, no weird shifting, no vibrations. I know some trucks have that fourth gear shudder. This one does not do that at all. Fuel economy is about 16 miles to the gallon, hand calculated. There's no electronic calculation on board this truck. So, but cruise control works. All options work like they should. There are a few little knickknacks I gotta fix that are still on the list. The radio antenna is one. Some of the stations that are a little more distant don't come in, but all the local stations still work fine. Of course, I have to fix the windshield. Later on, I may, if I come across just a great deal on a door, I'll get it, but the dents really don't bother me. The door handle, I've got a new door handle and lock cylinder, so that's not an issue with that. Just have to put them in. But yeah, that's it. That's my 500,000 mile truck. Thank y'all for watching.